I playfully exposed his tiny thing to our friends at our wedding, but he didn't take it as a joke. If it's tiny, but I didn't know that a little joke would turn my wedding day into a horrible nightmare for me. It was supposed to be our after-wedding party, but it turned out to be a disastrous party. I wouldn't have imagined that I wouldn't go back home as a bride. I have always dreamt of being a bride to the man I love, but I ended up messing things up for myself. Can you imagine? I didn't go home as a bride after my wedding. I've never heard or seen such a thing happen to anyone before. It's so unfortunate that happened to me. Hi Reddit, my name is Linda, and I am a 24-year-old entrepreneur. I own a boutique where I sell clothes and accessories. My husband, or should I say soon-to-be ex-husband, is a 27-year-old businessman. His name is Justin. Justin and I have known each other for 2 years. Justin and I met one fateful day at my store. Yes, guys, at my store. Sounds crazy, right? I know. That day was the first time Justin and I met each other. He dropped by to pick up a few clothes and shoes. My boutique is for both men and women, and trust me, I do get a lot of customers. I sell fashionable clothing and accessories. So guys, meeting Justin for the first time that day was love at first sight. I don't know about him, but that was it for me. I held myself back when he was moving around sorting out things he should buy. Of course I was the manager, and so I had to control myself. Justin was really such a handsome young man. I was very happy to have met him then. Guys, to crown everything up, Justin was nice and polite. I haven't seen anyone so polite like him. If it had been any other guy that was good-looking like Justin was, he wouldn't be that polite or approachable. I have seen guys that are handsome and good-looking but aren't approachable. They are either rude or not smiling at all. But Justin is never that type of guy. That was what made me fall in love with him the moment I saw him. Craziest thing that happened was that I helped him out with his shopping. Yes, guys, I couldn't resist not helping him out. That day was the first time in my years of owning a boutique to help a customer with shopping. I had never done that. Usually, it was the work of my sales staff. I had about 5 of them that were doing the job, but I took it upon myself that day to do it for Justin. I won't lie, guys, it was worth it. The moment we shared together looking for fashionable clothing for Justin was great. Each of the clothes he tried on fitted him perfectly. He had many options to choose, but didn't know which one. I couldn't help but come in to give some suggestions, which he accepted. I was happy that I could help, though. One thing I admired about him at that moment was that he had a great taste in buying clothes. As time went on over the years, I discovered that Justin was the type that was so intentional about his looks. He can spend so much just to look good, and that's really nice because I'm that type too. I also don't mind spending money to look good too. What do you guys expect? I own a boutique, of course. So guys, that day Justin and I really had a good time sorting out what clothes to buy. It's so funny how we really connected with each other so fast at that moment. After Justin was done paying, I even left the tip for the store and gave me his personal contact to give him a call. I was happy that someone like Justin would give me his personal contact and not his business card. It takes a whole lot for someone like Justin to give out his personal card to me. After a few days, I gave Justin a call. I know you all must be thinking why it took me days to call him. The truth was that I was busy with work at that time. I had lots of things to do that totally overwhelmed me and took my time. Due to the nature of my job, I was really a busy type, you know. I gave him a call and introduced myself. It didn't take a second before Justin could know that I was the one on the phone. We talked on the phone for a while about how our day was going at that moment. It wasn't something serious, though, just normal chit-chat, that was all. In fact, the call was brief because Justin had some work to attend to. But before we ended the call, Justin proposed we meet somewhere to get to talk so we could know each other more. I was very excited hearing that from Justin. I had that thought in mind but didn't know how to say it to him. Let's say I was shy and scared at the same time. I didn't want to be pushy or make Justin know that I liked him. Guys, I don't know about you all, but one thing about me is that I can never ask a guy out on a date even though I liked him. You all would think it's pride, but it isn't. I'm too shy to do that. So guys, I accepted Justin's proposal to meet with him. At least that would make us get to know each other more, right? After we were done talking, I went back to my work. I had a few orders from my clients to sort out, which I did, even though it almost took most of my time. I made sure I didn't go to the venue late or keep Justin waiting. That would be rude of me if I had let that happen. Later that day, when it was time for us to meet, I texted the address to Justin. The restaurant was one of my favorite places in town. I suggested that place for us to meet. Guys, it wasn't just my favorite place, but also a safe place to meet someone you barely know. I'm sorry, but I can't mention the name of the restaurant. That aside, the dinner with Justin was great. I had a good time chatting with him. Every moment spent with him was worth it because I had a good laugh. Something I hadn't done in a long time then. The times Justin and I had been together, and the memories we made together is something I cherish the most and wouldn't trade for anything else. We might not be together at the moment, but I will never forget him. I realize that it's so hard to let go of Justin after everything that happened. Justin didn't deserve what I did to him at our wedding party. I was just trying to tell him how I feel whenever we got intimate, but I didn't know that I was doing it the wrong way. It was just a joke that anyone would have laughed at and moved on, but I guess it wasn't for Justin. At that time, I didn't see it as something that would get Justin angry. I said it casually, not like I intentionally wanted to embarrass him or rub his ego down. You all would think maybe I was tipsy or even drunk as at the time I said it. But no, I wasn't. In fact, that day I was extra careful with the drink I had. I don't know how to control my liquor. That was why I made sure not to lose guard in whatever I was going to drink. That day was supposed to be the most important day of my life, and so I didn't want anything that would ruin it for me. Most especially, I didn't want to be the one to ruin my day myself, considering how I behaved anytime I was tipsy. Justin had no idea about my habits. Anytime we hung up together, I always tried not to drink too much. Even though I loved drinking, I tried not to do that whenever Justin and I were together. Justin always told me how much he disliked ladies that drink so much and doesn't know how to control their liquor. Justin always sees them as irresponsible ladies. Just imagine, guys, I was the type of lady Justin didn't like and termed irresponsible and was even his fiancée then. I had to try and cover that up so he wouldn't know that about me. I know I couldn't hide that from him forever if we get married, but I didn't want to let go of him then. I loved the attention he gave to me and the money he always spent on him. Who wouldn't want to be with that kind of man that was so intentional about his lady? Of course, every woman would want to be with that type of man. Well, I don't know for any of you guys, but for me, I would gladly be with such a man. I earned my own money then, but I always loved Justin to spend on him, and he never complained about it. Justin and I even had a discussion about how the household bills would be paid when we finally were together as a couple. From the discussion we had, Justin was fine taking care of everything. My own money was to be spent anyhow I liked. Guys, what more did I want from him? Justin was ready and capable of taking care of me and the household bills. To crown everything up, Justin always bought me gifts. At some point, I got too tired of getting gifts because Justin had given me enough. But then again, I loved it. So guys, when Justin and my relationship grew stronger as time went on, we became close to each other and spent time together even though we were always busy with work. One thing I loved about Justin was that he made sure to find time for us to meet and spend together. The first few weeks that Justin asked me to be his girlfriend was great. I was very much in love with him, and so was he too. Funnily enough, we never got intimate during the first few weeks. Justin and I didn't want to rush things then. Like I said earlier, we were busy types. Though we went out together and spent time with each other, we didn't get to that point of spending the night together on the same bed. Honestly, I didn't know what must have been the reason then. I guess I must have forgotten. The important thing was that Justin and I had a mature relationship then, so getting intimate wasn't our utmost priority then. But after a month of dating, we decided to get intimate. At that time, Justin and I both wanted it. Yes, it took us that long. I wouldn't say any one of us had anything to hide except me that was hiding my bad drinking habit from Justin. If not, I don't think there was anything unless Justin was. But I guess we were just too busy to even think of that. Anytime we came back from outing Justin and I slept off faster because of how exhausted we were. Our work was taking a toll on us, but we loved doing it anyway. So guys, the first time Justin and I got intimate with each other was not too great for me. I had never thought that I would be unsatisfied after that. Unlike my ex-boyfriend who would have satisfied me, Justin was so bad at it. At that moment, I thought maybe that was what delayed us from getting intimate. Maybe Justin wanted it to keep that away from me. But then again, he never showed that was a problem for him. The first night was just so bad I wouldn't lie to you guys. I thought, okay, maybe it was because we both had a long day that time. That was why he didn't perform really well. I have been with guys that had things, and I was really satisfied after the whole thing. I didn't understand why Justin's own was different. I wanted more that night, but didn't know how to say it. To make matters even worse, Justin slept off a few minutes after. I was just so frustrated on the bed, thinking about everything that happened. At that moment, I remembered my ex-boyfriend Ray, how he used to satisfy me, even though his tiny thing was the same with Justin. I don't know why, but I kept on remembering all the crazy things we had done together. That was the only thing that made me sleep that night because I was not too happy with what happened. The next morning, Justin woke up early and made something for me to eat. It was breakfast in bed, guys. At that moment, I forgot about the previous night for a second. That morning was the first time Justin had prepared breakfast for me and brought it to bed. I really loved it and was so happy about it because Justin had never done that before then. Before I forget, guys, the food was really tasty. Yes, it was. I thought maybe Justin did that to apologize for what happened last night. I didn't know why, but I assumed that that was it. The crazy thing was that Justin never said it to me openly. I guess I assumed everything in my head. Justin's action made it look like he was apologizing to me, but I didn't know that it was his way of showing me how much he loved me. All of those things he did wasn't because he wanted to apologize for not being able to be satisfied in bed, but did that because he loved me so much and cared about me. Justin was such an intentional lover. I wouldn't lie, guys. At that time, I wanted to give Justin the benefit of the doubt that it was because of how stressed he was. That was why he couldn't perform really well the first night we spent together. I looked forward to the second time. Maybe it would be better than the first one. I also thought of making sure that Justin won't be stressed out with work before we do it again. I just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be frustrated about not being satisfied when we tie the knot together. Guys, I didn't want that to be an issue for me. Also, I didn't want to be in a situation where I would go outside to make out with random guys because of that. It wouldn't make any sense if I had done that, right? I didn't want it to be heard that Justin and I got divorced because I cheated on him when we were married. I have heard stories about wives that had affairs with someone else and their husbands left them. I didn't want to be in that kind of situation. That was why I thought about what to do concerning Justin not being able to satisfy me in bed. There's nothing worse than that. I wasn't even ready to go through that stress in marriage. I loved Justin so much, and breaking up with him because of that wouldn't make any sense, most especially how he treated me with love and care. Our relationship was near to perfection at that time. The only issue we had, or I had though, because Justin had no idea about his inability to satisfy me in bed. I thought about it for some time. After the first night together, I was even discouraged to get any intimate with Justin. I wasn't even excited like I was the first time because Justin didn't meet my expectations. But I tried to make sure that he wouldn't be stressed out with work the next time we would spend the night together, so as to see if it was really stressful, or that was how he was. The next time we tried it again was a week after, and my plan of not letting Justin get too stressed out before we did it worked out. But guess what, guys? It was still the same thing. There was nothing different from the first night we made out together. I couldn't be more frustrated than I was the first time. I was so angry that I didn't know how to express myself. Justin, on the other hand, had no idea about my frustration. What even got me more pissed was the fact that Justin slept off a few minutes later. Yes, he did. I gave him the benefit of the doubt that he could have been stressed out because of work the first time we got intimate, but it turned out that Justin couldn't satisfy me like I wanted. That night, I sat up on the bed staring at how Justin was soundly asleep. He didn't care if I was happy or not. I thought to myself that if I had known that Justin wouldn't be able to satisfy me in bed on time, maybe I wouldn't have gone deep into the relationship. At that point, I realized it was just too late for me because I was so much in love with Justin that I couldn't let go of him. I know you all would say I never loved him, but was there because of how much he took very good care of me. Well, you all can think or say whatever you want. The truth was that I loved Justin. You guys can judge me all you want. I really don't care about it because I have heard lots of nasty things these past few weeks. Like I said earlier, the second time Justin and I got intimate was very disappointing for me. I got out of bed that night and went to the living room to clear my head with some non-alcoholic wine. Anytime I am stressed out or worried about something, I do take a few shots to clear my head, but I couldn't do that at Justin's house because I knew that I wouldn't get drunk, and so I went for non-alcoholic wine instead. I took a few glasses before I dozed off on the couch. The next morning, Justin woke me up, and that was when I realized that I had spent the night on the couch. Justin was confused at why I had a bottle of wine with me and spent the night on the couch. I didn't know what to say to him. I lied that I was just stressed out and needed a bottle of wine to cool my head off about something. Justin asked what could be stressing me that much, but I told him not to worry about it, that it was nothing really important. Even though it was a very important thing to me, I couldn't say it out loud. I didn't even know how to break it out to him because I didn't know how Justin was going to react when I said it. I thought about his feelings and I didn't want to hurt him. That morning, Justin helped me clear out the table and we had breakfast together. Guys, I wasn't really happy during that period. It felt like a huge burden needed to be lifted up from my chest. I tried distracting myself with work and having fun with my friends, but it wasn't helping matters. But that didn't affect Justin's and I's relationship. The fact that I wasn't satisfied in bed didn't mean that I wouldn't enjoy every moment Justin and I spent together. The memories we shared together were great, and I wouldn't take that for granted. At that time, I talked with my friends about how frustrated I was anytime Justin and I got intimate. My friend told me about it. I told them that I was scared and didn't want to hurt his feelings, but they still advised me to talk with him. I ignored all of that advice because I was just too scared. They asked me if it was how I would endure it when Justin and I got married. I honestly did not have any answer at that moment. During our discussion, I proposed an idea of getting back with Ray, my ex-boyfriend, not for any relationship, but for us to have fun together since he was very good at making me happy in bed. My friends kicked against the idea and told me how heartbreaking it would be if Justin found out that I was cheating on him with my ex. I told them that was the only way out, and nothing they were saying at that moment was going to change my mind. I couldn't continue to stay silent and not be satisfied like I wanted. After days of thinking about that, I got in touch with Ray. At that time, Ray was also in a relationship. I told him that I just wanted to have fun and no strings attached, which he accepted the offer. I was happy that he accepted it. Of course, why not? We were once in love with each other before we parted ways. Ray and I ended our relationship on mutual terms, no heartbreak or whatsoever. So guys, one day I met with Ray at a hotel for us to get to business. All the time we were talking was through social media, and so we picked out a date to meet, which was at a hotel. I made sure to dress all covered up because I didn't want to bump into any of Justin's colleagues or friends. Justin was an influential person, and our relationship wasn't hidden. Even Ray knew who Justin was at that time, and I was extra careful anytime Ray and I were meeting. As expected, guys, I got what I wanted from Ray. I felt really happy after Ray and I made out together. I felt no guilt when Ray and I got intimate together because I was frustrated to the extent that I could do anything to satisfy my cravings. To feel less guilt, that was why I went for Ray. At least I didn't just go around sleeping with any random guys I met. I was happy that Ray accepted my offer, even though I didn't pay him for it. According to Ray, he accepted it because his girlfriend was a busy type and hardly had time for them to be together. Technically, both Ray and I were of benefit to each other. Like I said earlier, there were no strings attached, just having fun together, and that was it. I told Ray not to keep his hopes high so he wouldn't get disappointed. So guys, Ray and I kept meeting each other for months. At that time, I wasn't worried about not being satisfied by Justin. Anytime I wanted to have fun, I went to Ray for it. At some point, I stopped asking Justin for it. Justin would be the one to make the move. There was nothing exciting about it. That went on for a very long time. Justin had no idea what was going on, though. On our 2 years anniversary of being together, Justin and I went on a date together, and he proposed to me to be his wife. At that moment, I had not been so confused like I was at that. The proposal wasn't public, it was just between Justin and I, and so I wasn't pressured about saying yes or no to him. For some few seconds, I kept staring at the ring Justin held in front of me. Guys, it was a real diamond ring, and I just couldn't resist it. I thought to myself that if I say no to Justin, the ring wouldn't be mine. The only option for me was to accept his proposal. Yes, I loved Justin, but I wasn't that happy because of his inability to satisfy me in bed. That was the only thing that made me skeptical in accepting his proposal. After a few minutes, I accepted Justin's proposal, and he wore the ring on my finger. The sight of it was so beautiful. I was more excited about the ring than the proposal. Justin didn't have any idea that I was happy about the ring and not his proposal. My intention was to accept the proposal, get married to Justin, and continue having fun with Ray. That way, I wouldn't be frustrated or lose Justin. Immediately after the dinner with Justin, I told my friends I had something really important to tell them. They were anxious to know what it was, but I didn't break the news to them immediately. The next day, I met with my friends and showed them the ring Justin had proposed to me with. They were really excited for me. They need nobody to tell that it was a real diamond ring. I told them that I could sell the ring and buy a million things with the money if I wished. My friends for a second looked at me and asked why I had the idea of selling something my boyfriend proposed to me with. I told them that I was in the relationship because of how Justin spoilt me with gifts and money. My love for him wasn't really as strong as it was from the beginning. My friends advised me not to throw away the 2 years Justin and I shared together all because of my bedroom desires. My friends told me to go ahead with the wedding preparations and get married. I thought about all that they told me, and it all made a lot of sense. At that time, I was happy that I had friends that were looking out for me. The company I kept had my best interest at heart, just that I was too blinded by my selfish desires to have seen that. I owe no one accountable for my stupid decisions. My friends talked me out about the idea of cheating on Justin with my ex-boyfriend, but I didn't listen. I went ahead to do what I wanted. Accepting Justin's proposal wasn't because I loved him that much, but because I benefited from him. In less than a few weeks, our wedding date was set. Justin was the happiest during that time. Ray, on the other hand, started developing feelings for me. I was not happy about it because things were getting more complicated for me. I just wanted to have fun with Ray, and we talked about it from the beginning. So having feelings for me when my wedding was coming up in a few months then didn't really make any sense to me. I didn't plan on getting back with Ray to start up any romantic relationship. I told Ray that I was getting married and didn't think the relationship was going to work. Ray told me that we could be in a relationship and Justin wouldn't know, just as we have been having fun together. It got to the extent that Ray wanted me to break up with Justin and cancel the wedding plans so we could be together. I didn't think twice about what Ray told me because I couldn't understand how Ray would be in a relationship and wanted me to break up with my fiancé to be with him. The idea sounded so stupid. I told myself I wasn't interested, but Ray told me that he had no feelings for his girlfriend then and that he wanted to be with him. It even got to a point that Ray stopped letting us get intimate together. He knew how much I wanted it. At that time, I was confused about what to do about it. Ray was giving me conditions about my relationship with Justin. As usual, I told my friends about it, and they warned me to stay away from Ray. They told me how they stopped me from getting back with Ray, but I didn't listen. At some point, Ray and I talked things through, and we agreed that I would be in a relationship with him after I get married. I assured him that I wouldn't stop coming to him after the wedding. Even though I didn't want to have an affair outside my marriage, I couldn't keep up with it because I had no option. So guys, the wedding preparations went on well and weren't stressful at all. My friends took care of everything for me. They were my wedding planners, and they did an amazing job. A lot really happened during the preparation, which I wouldn't bore you all with. On the day of the wedding, I woke up really happy. Most especially, Ray and I spent the night together at the hotel, where I had my bachelorette party. We had lots of drinks, and I ended the night with Ray. It was really fun, guys. Before I let my makeup artist and designer to start dressing me up for the matrimonial service, I asked Ray out so we wouldn't get caught. Ray left, but promised to attend the wedding. After a few hours of getting me ready, I was all set up, ready to leave. I had a few photo sessions with my friends before I headed out. We got to the venue, and everything was perfectly fine. The church service went well, and we proceeded to the reception venue where we danced with our friends and family. Justin couldn't take his eyes off me. He was very happy at that time. Well, I was a little bit happy, I won't lie, guys. After the wedding reception, there was an after-party planned out by Justin and I. It was an all-white party. The main reason for the party was for us to have fun with our friends and also give a few advice to intending couples and learn a few lessons from the ones that were married. If I had known that that party would turn out to be disastrous, I wouldn't have accepted to plan it with Justin. The party started in the evening. Everything was going really well, and the guests were having fun. A few hours into the event, Justin and I were given some minutes to say something lovely to ourselves, since we were the latest couple in town. I was asked to go first since they went by the rule of ladies first. I started off by praising Justin with how affectionate he was and the way he took good care of me. From there, I said the only problem I had was how unsatisfied I used to be any time we made out together, because he had a tiny thing and told him to improve on his skills because my ex-boyfriend always satisfied me in bed. Guys, I honestly didn't know when I said that. Everyone laughed at it, but Justin wasn't having it. Immediately, he took the mic from me and asked me what was the meaning of what I said and why was I talking about him in that way. I told Justin that it was just a joke and asked him to look around and see that everyone was laughing and that it wasn't a big deal. Justin dropped the mic on the floor angrily and left me alone at the stage and walked out of the door. I ran after Justin to stop him from leaving. When I finally got hold of him, Justin asked me why I didn't tell him how I felt any time we made out together, and I chose to disgrace him in front of his friends and colleagues. He told me that I made a fool out of him, and so he was going to annul the marriage so we both could go our separate ways, and I could go back to my ex that was always satisfying me. I told Justin that I was sorry if I had made fun of him and pleaded with him not to annul the marriage, but Justin didn't listen to me, and he left. Guys, I couldn't understand what had happened at that moment. I regret ever saying that at the party. My friends came outside to check up on us, and I told them what Justin had said. I cried so hard that everyone had pity on me. Everyone left in their numbers, and before I knew it, I was left with my friends. The hall was empty, and the party came to an end in disaster. A few days later, Justin filed for annulment on the ground of fraud and misinterpretation. Right now, the petition paper is right in front of me. Our wedding was just a few days ago, but I'm here with no husband. Update. Hey, Reditters, here's an update to the last post I made some months ago. A lot of you all had been asking for an update, so here's it. Before I go on, I would like to thank those that thought to check on me after my last post. It really means a lot to me. Well, my marriage with Justin was null and void, and we both went separate ways. A month after Justin filed for the petition, we both appeared in court. Justin claimed that I misled him into marrying me so that I would have control over his money. Not only that, guys, my husband claimed that he was forced into marrying me because he never wanted to go on with the wedding in the first place. Justin got a good lawyer that took up the case. Everything I said at the party was used against me. Guys, to make matters worse, Ray, my ex-boyfriend, testified against me in court. I didn't know how he got in touch with Justin and exposed all that we planned together. He told Justin that I was with him because of his money, not because I loved him. Guys, nothing surprised me more than that. I never knew that all those times Ray had me recorded and even sent pictures of us together to Justin to prove that he was telling the truth. I still can't remember offending Ray in any way that he sold me out like that. I'm very sure that Justin would have paid him handsomely for that piece of information. I was so devastated that Ray outsmarted me. I kept asking myself how I didn't see that coming. After much adjournment and hearings, our marriage was declared void. I didn't get anything out of the divorce, no property was shared, and I went home empty-handed. I confronted Ray about why he sold me out, but he didn't give me any reasonable answer. It was pointless stressing over it because the deed had been done. Ray wasn't even remorseful about it, and there was nothing I could do. I blocked him on all platforms and promised never to have anything to do with him again. Justin collected the diamond ring from me and other expensive things he got for me during the course of our relationship. Also, he demanded that I make everything he spent on the wedding. So far, I have managed to pay up, but it isn't up to half of what he had spent. I have emptied my savings in paying off all the wedding expenses. Justin meant business when he asked me to pay up. I wish I had never said what I said at the party.